All right, guys, we have got our mini preview and season win total predictions here for the New Orleans Saints. This is episode 22 as we go right through the NFL, getting into the home stretch here, the final third or so. Over under 9.5 for the Saints, plus 120 to the over, minus 148 to the under. We're going to go under here for the New Orleans Saints. We have this at exactly 9.5, and there's a variety of different things we're going to talk about. But we're just leaning under, and we'll take a look at it as we go. But let's start with the coaching. Dennis Allen, he's a good defensive mind, but head coaching I don't think is his thing. Decision-making in moments during the game don't seem to be his thing. Maybe he'll get someone to help him with that. I'm not sure, but it's just not great all around. The analytical fourth down stuff he's not good at. It's just all around decision making as a head coach is not good. So he said the defensive stuff's excellent. Him and Joe Woods at defensive coordinator have done really well with this defense, so he's got that going for him. It's just the head coaching stuff, just the pure head coaching, minute by minute, game by game kind of stuff doesn't seem to fit with Dennis Allen. Pete Carmichael is the offensive coordinator, a good offensive coordinator, a good mind. Should get a jump here with Derek Carr, and continues to be just solid all around at the offensive coordinator spot. As for the roster, Derek Carr, just talking about him, comes in. I like Derek Carr. I think he's better than what he showed last year. I think the system helps him much more than last year's did. I think the coaching here is better than last year, and on just offensive coaching is better here than it was last year. So I think Derek Carr, a little bit underrated. I think he'll have a jump from last year to this year. Offensive line, it's okay. Ramczyk is really good. Simple as that. At right tackle, Penning is okay. He missed a lot of last year with an injury, but the run blocking was really good. He has an attitude for it. If he can bring that attitude to the pass blocking and just get better overall there, then, you know, we have a really good player on our hands, but he has to make a jump there. Interior, not too bad, just needs to stay healthy. Simple as that. It's solid if it's healthy. Pete, Ruiz, you know, there are a lot of good players in there, or a couple good players in there. They miss games. They got to stay healthy for this offensive line to be above average this season. Running back room is deep now. Kamara is still good. He's going to be suspended by the looks of it. I don't know how many games, but he's going to be suspended. That being said, Jamal Williams is good, and he can carry the load, I have no doubt. While Kamara's gone, Keandre Miller is a name that gets thrown. He's been thrown around quite a bit recently. Decent player. You know, Benjamin is not useless at fourth running back if that gets to that point. So it's a good squad, or a good room, and it's deep. So like where they're at running back. Wide receiver room, similar to last year. Olave, excellent. Looks like he'll continue to be excellent. Shaheed showed promise, did well last year, and hopefully he can make another jump. Michael Thomas is whatever Michael Thomas is. I don't know. He's good sometimes when he's playing. Sometimes he's not. He's not playing all the time. It's whatever situation. If he's healthy and playing okay, then that's a plus. Traquan Smith, not too bad either. So it's a pretty decent wide receiver room. And the weaponry just in general on this team is good. Tight end room, solid. Foster Moreau comes in. He's a good player. Taysom Hill is a gadget, but good at tight end as well. So a couple good tight ends there. And as we said, just the skill positions in general on the offense, really solid, and pretty deep most places. As for the defense, this is where it gets a little weird because they were good last year, played well last year, but lost players here. So we'll see. D-line is okay. At edge, don't hate it. Granderson took a step up. Davenport left, and so we'll see. Cam Jordan's a little bit older and continues to get older, so we'll see how that goes. Depth is, not a ton here. Peyton Turner, that kind of stuff, but those two, if Cam Jordan plays well again as he gets older, we have a pretty good unit on the edge. Interior, not so much. This is a problem. If Brian Brzee doesn't come in and immediately make an impact, the interior is going to be a problem. Just in general, it's not good. Not a lot of depth. That's the weak point here. As we said, edge is pretty decent. If the interior doesn't get that jump right away, it could be a problem all year long. Linebacker, this is a good room. Demario Davis is really good, continues to play really well. He's healthy all the time. So, I mean, he's one of their more indispensable players, and at linebacker, which isn't really a premium position anymore. So that says a lot on how well he's been playing. Pete Werner probably comes in. He had a really good rookie year and step back last year. We'll see if he can, step up again playing regularly. I believe it's Caden Ellis, who's gone, so he'll have to step into that role. Caden Ellis had a good year last year. So a step back on the roster, but still pretty good. Kind of like the defensive line, I guess, step back with Davenport. But, if Granderson can continue to play well, it's not a huge step back. Secondary is a weird unit to me. The safety duo, Tyrann Mathieu, are both really good. The safety duo is really good. Corners is an odd unit. Roby and what's his name? Roby and Adebo play well at 2 and 3. They're comfortable switching off 2s and 3s. When Lattimore is hurt and they have to do 1-2s, it's like a whole different set of guys. It's the drop down is completely different, or it's a big jump more than a lot of places. When you go from 1s and 2s to 2s and 3s, it's a big jump. Lattimore needs to stay healthy, if not just to keep those guys on 2s and 3s. Lattimore's a good corner. He's not as good as it gets thrown around, I don't think. Probably a little bit overrated, but still a good corner, can still cover some 1s. And the other guys have to stay on 2s and 3s, it feels like. So an injury to Lattimore in this secondary can kind of get a little bit weird, but that's just how it goes sometimes. And as we said, there's no step back here in the secondary roster-wise, but an injury here to Lattimore could be problematic, and he's been injury-prone recently. So defense steps back a little bit and potential to step back a lot, in theory, if Lattimore gets hurt, but don't predict injuries or anything like that. He just hasn't played a ton. Only played 7 games last year, so it is what it is. Schedule. Now, it's an easy schedule, that I will say, but I don't see this team being so much better than everyone else that I'm not stockpiling wins here. It feels like every game is a pick, pretty much. We got Tennessee at home. There'll be slight favorites there, 3.5. At Carolina, at Green Bay, home to Tampa Bay. It's not a super tough stretch, but as I said, I don't expect them to run away from any of these teams, and I don't expect them to get blown out by any of these teams. So this feels like 17 pick'ems, and when you get into pick'em territory over a 17 game sample, you can get a variety of different things. So we did under 9.5 because they step back a little bit, but there's potential to drop back, and then you get potential to the positive side here where a couple of games swing your way, just a little bit of luck regresses from last year, and all of a sudden you're winning 11 games against the easiest schedule in the league. So it's very strange. It's a lot of variance here. At New England, at Houston, home to Jacksonville, at Indianapolis. So an AFC South swing there, 2 on the road, and then at New England, who scheme pretty well. So we'll see how that goes. That being said, their 2 toughest games to me in the division or in the AFC South come at home, which is always problematic. I hate that swap. Then at home to Chicago, at Minnesota before the bye, and then at Atlanta, home to Detroit, Carolina, Giants, and then at the Rams, at Tampa Bay, home to Atlanta. So it's not a difficult schedule just in terms of everything, but there's potential here for things to fall off. There's potential here to have variance go their way and they win 11, 12 games. It's all over the place, but we're going under 9.5, minus 148. This is just an injury away in the secondary. The interior of the D-line's not great. Interior of the O-line has injury potential. So under 9.5, minus 148 for the New Orleans Saints. And tomorrow, we'll have a different team.